And we got a Pasoy problem in the clubhouse.
Now, back to Steiny and Guru on 95.7 The Game.
I almost wish I'd never heard that word.
I'm going to learn how to play Pasoy, guys. I am.
Yeah.
Have you played it, Dibs?
I tried to play it at senior prom, and it didn't work out for me. What's wrong with you people? Can't we have a little fun? It's a Wednesday.
Willard and Dibs in the house. It's when we get together, the four of us.
What did I do wrong?
It's a hump day. Let's go.
Is it? Oh, yeah, it is, huh?
Hey,
I don't know what day it is.
I don't like Willard.
I got one word for you.
Oh, what is it, Steiny?
Oh, what an embarrassment.
WTF.
What a fun guy, isn't he?
I sent it to you.
What a fun guy. He's got a big old beard and a smile.
But now's not the place. That wasn't the place.
Where's
Where's
the
the fire?
time?
This is one of those things.
Was the ball
where,
hidden in his beard? I never found out where he actually hit it.
It's hidden in a different body part every time, Dibs.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and the same question apparently gets asked every time Gabe Kapler gets to the mound. It's not you coaching, but it's kind of a concoction of that. It's, are you sure? And apparently that's their thing. And then somehow this one went sideways, whereas I told you guys a second ago, the first time I saw it, Guru was the one who sent it to me.
Man.
I was sitting there last night looking at it on my phone. He's like, what is this? And I'm like, it looks like two guys who are drunk leaving a bar, and they're like falling over each other.
Why is there contact?
So here's my thing is this: like we all sort of things hit us a different way. I'm not offended by this, but I completely understand everybody who is. Where it's like, are human beings supposed to stop laughing? Are they supposed to stop having whatever little dynamics they have with one another just because you're losing? I would argue no, but on the night when you're eliminated and your supposed future superstar pitcher is out sick, and so you get thrown in as an opener, and the forever season fourth place Padres are about to catch you,
and Juan Soto hits a tank off you in the first,
and you guys are grab you know what in each other out on the mound on the way out in the second inning. Yeah, it's a bad look. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. This is not going to make you're not going to make people feel good. And
read the room.
That's what the Giants organization seems to be failing to understand right now. Do your fans' opinions matter about the roster? Maybe not. Do how the fans feel about you matter? You're damn right it does.
And how do they feel about you right now? Coming off the Logan Webb commentary.
Not good.
They feel like maybe your clubhouse doesn't take enough things seriously. And so now you've got a manager coming out to take the pitcher out, and you're playing hidden ball trick. And if you look at the other infielders, Steiny, that are around that moment, there's not a whole bunch of, this is so great.
Luciano,
JD Davis. Well, Luciano gives a kind of an awkward smile.
He's like, what's happening?
Right.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not in on the joke. I haven't been here all year.
JD Davis does like a half turn away, kind of like, oh, God.
Boy.
JD's like planning his exit strategy, which he handled an inning later.
And was Tyro up there?
I don't know.
Also,
Whatever.
I couldn't identify everybody, but it wasn't like,
Wilmer there?
Oh, this is so great. We love this bit. We couldn't wait for Gabe to come out because we love the bit. Just an embarrassment.
I always believe that, the organization knows what's going on way more than the fans and the writers and all that kind of stuff. But I do wonder if this stuff that, they get a so-called vote of confidence a month or so ago. I almost feel like, I wonder if some of this stuff's coming out because they all know that these guys are probably coming back, but they don't want these guys to come back. But there's also, I'm going to contradict myself here, but I also don't think, people hate Kapler. I just think he's just a guy.
I think some of them like him. There are probably a few of them who are bothered by him. And then a healthy portion of them, at minimum, just roll their eyes at him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I'm not bothered by you, but you're different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be my guess. But Steiny, I guess my number one response to you there is, if these guys are sitting there going, we know Gabe and Farhan are back, I mean, isn't their question, we don't even know if we're back. The reason the Logan thing sat so well, I think, with fans and media, it was so important, what he did a couple of nights ago, is he's the only one who we know is going to be a now and a part of the future. And I think part of what he's asking for is for that to change. He's like, is there anybody else here who cares about the future of the Giants? Because I do. And Fleming was great on that today.
Oh, man.
I learned more about Logan Webb today in that this guy studies the minor leaguers. This guy is the first one to introduce himself when they get called up. This is somebody who, when he is off on his own time, if not at a Raider game, is thinking about and working with how to make the Giants better. He is immersed in it. And when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, that's favorite player stuff. Like, okay, Logan, you're our guy. You're our guy. And I think Logan's looking around and like, is there any other guys? Who's with me? Because you're playing cards.
Sure.
You're in the other room.
David Copperfield with the magic
You
trick.
just got called up yesterday. You just got sent down. You're on a 1-year deal. You're on a 1-year deal. You got an option.
Who's with me?
Who's with me?
Who's with
and
me?
he's Jerry Maguire, and he's walking out with a fish.
Or he's like Belushi in Animal House, where who's with me? And he runs out, and nobody follows him, and he comes back in.
Streaking!
All that,
Yeah,
and he comes back in,
yourself.
and he has to, berate his fraternity brothers because nobody was with him in the moment, and that's kind of where Logan is right now. And I don't blame him for feeling that way, and I don't blame the other guys for not running out of the room with him because you're either pre-arb for, or you're on a 1+1. Or you might be going to Sacramento tomorrow, and then you'll be back on Friday. Nobody here has permanence other than who? Like Tyro? Camilo? One of the various Rogerses?
No doubt. I mean, I would say
tenuous.
I would say that some of the young players they hope will be the core of the future. See, like I think Farhan can go to management and say, look at our roster. We had 7 or 8 guys, young guys, who we got to look at. Maybe somebody wanted more to see more of a look. But like Farhan can say, can we go in next? We've got young players. Let's see if they're starting to get better. Let's see if they're ascending.
This is year 5 of that.
Right, but this is the first year we've seen them matriculate to to major leagues.
Thank you, Hank Stram. And I appreciate what you said about matriculating the ball down the field. But they tried to serve both masters.
You're right.
They didn't bring these guys up and really give them a look. Like, Bailey, yes, you got to look because, man, you were good and you threw people out. But any other rookie never really got up here and was able to get comfortable, in my opinion, because they were trying to make the playoffs while also develop the youngsters, and they did neither.
And you're 2 years removed from 107, so I understand that direction.
Well,
like 107, you lose to the Dodgers, you're feeling like we got something.
It's a little hindsight is 2020, I feel, with this point that a lot of people are making. I get it because it didn't work, but it's a little easy to sit here today and be like, you should have given the year to the youngsters. Well, if you had done that when you were 13 games over 500 in early July,
no doubt.
I'd have called you an idiot. Yeah. Like they were trying to win, and then they didn't. And so then you look at it and go, well, you should have handed the year to the young guys. No, you should have tried to win. And you should have done a better job of it, by the way. But, like, Steiny's right. These young guys, like Bailey, that was one of his first picks. Now they're ready. Like, that whole rebooting the farm system thing, that did take time. But there is something to be said for going back to Logan Speaks and then that article. What were the other players it pointed to?
Oh, my gosh.
Yaz.
Yes.
Estrada.
Yes.
Flores.
Yes.
What do those 3 guys and Logan Webb all have in common?
They're going to be there.
Thank you. And there are not enough of those people in the clubhouse because Jock Peterson, who's not going to be here, is playing Pusoy Dos, and Alex Wood has had 1 foot out the door since June. And everyone else who has a player option is like, I might have 1 foot out the door, but I might not. If I don't play well, I'll be back.
So does that still make me or Giant fans that think I'm going to put the poker problem the way what we know, the fact that, okay, Gabe doesn't flip a spread, but if you can't run your house, then what are you here for if the players who tried to do it without you, what are you here for? Like, I need a Piniella. I need a Sparky Anderson. I honestly believe Brebbia. I've never seen Brebbia. I've never seen that happen. I've never seen the box out on the mound. I think Brebbia, in a little mischievous way, was, I know what Logan said. I may not be here. I know what's the articles are written. I'm going to pull my magic trick just to Who took the brunt of that? Kapler. He's the one that looked.
And what happened with Zach Littell? When Zach Littell slammed the ball in his hand and Gabe stalks after him and follows him down the tunnel, and he's DFA'd the next day.
Did you see Gabe actually make light of that after the game as well?
No, I didn't actually.
Yeah, they asked him, "Is anything ever like that? Happened before?"
He said,
and he goes, "What? You mean a redhead getting mad at me on the mound and storming off?" So,
right. So
I'm glad everyone still has their sense of humor.
Has Brebbia been DFA'd?
No, he's been UFA'd.
Okay.
Yeah, he is an unrestricted free agent after
And
this.
I think he knows he's out.
Maybe. I also think John Brebbia, to me, this is a complete aside. He does not have a serious bone in his body. That's John.
All right, Willard,
he's he's the complete class clown, and so he's acting like the class clown.
Just real quick, Steiny, it's like being at somebody's funeral and trying to run material.
I just told Steiny that before you walked in.
No way. Dude, I was in
He said it's like if you're at a funeral and you got on your phone.
I said Dibs and I were at a funeral
but I
playing
think
dominoes.
Dibs works better, I think, because the phone, you can do it less obtrusively.
Correct. And
Obtusely.
believe me, as a guy who's always trying to make people laugh, even I, at Michael Urban's funeral, rest in peace, it was, it actually was not a super somber affair. It was sad, any funeral is, but I'm not out there, hey, boy, I just flew in from Albuquerque, and boy, are my arms tired.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1 San Francisco, always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union.
Even when I met a couple of listeners, we met some listeners, which were, a couple of nice young men.
I go, why are they staring at us? They mad at us?
Yeah, seriously.
I go, whoa.
I thought maybe I had some
I
had some dip on my shirt, but even at that point, I wasn't running material. Brebbia, you got to read the room.
Well,
know the situation.
Funerals actually should have some laughter, I feel like. They should.
Agreed.
People should share stories about people and make everybody
We shared
smile.
stories, and Rick Tittle was great, and he shared a couple of vignettes actually with Michael Urban's father, which made Mr. Urban smile and kind of made all of us smile a little bit, and so there was some of that, but it wasn't.
I don't know about the hidden ball trick, but
and it wasn't like, hey, tip your waitress because I got a couple zingers for you. There's a time and a place for everything. Anyway,
I don't want to beat a dead horse. But
this is awkward
I love the
transition.
game of baseball. I just need to know from you three before I get in the caddy and drive home. So the three guys took it upon themselves to try to police their own clubhouse. I get it.
Or four, right?
Okay.
If you count Logan.
But what about Gabe? If that's not his style, I felt like they should go to him or Gabe should have went in there. Like, to me, that's a stain on Gabe Kapler, the manager.
No doubt.
Now, Steiny was like, Goose, some guys, some manager skippers don't go all up in the thing, all up in the video. I get that. But when you got a problem of focus and guys doing that, there's no fear. I just don't believe Sparky Anderson or Bochy would go for that.
That's a different school. That's a different time.
They have respect. Like, they were managers for a long time and earned a lot of respect over that time. I don't know if they were thought of the same way their second or third year managing.
Don't you guys think, though, a lot of you probably had dads like this? I did.
Tom.
If Tom got mad, you knew, because it happened 3 times.
Oh,
That's
right?
more.
He's so chill. But if he came to get you, that was because he read that policing yourselves is now not working, so Dad's going to step in and be like, here's the flipping deal.
I love when you tell stories about Tom snatching you up, because there was a couple. You got a couple of great stories.
That was the only time he spanked me.
Dwayne was like the rapper Drake.
Rest in peace.
He would go 0 to 100 real quick, and so and Dwayne and Steiny's father and my father, they might as well have been the same man, cut from the same cloth. The old school where you cross that line, and it was you cross the line, and it's either you go fetch the paddle or I get it. Either way, we know how it ends. And I'm not advocating for, child spanking and all the rest of it. I never got spanked, but the siblings, oh boy. But I mean, it wasn't like 2 or 3 times. Dwayne would get hot and that was it. He would flip the spread on you if you did one of the things that you knew that he knew was wrong, and Kapler's just not that guy.
My best guess, obviously, we won't know because they won't tell us. Right. that animated conversation in the Dodger Stadium outfield between Logan and Gabe.
The 20 minutes.
I've got my best guess is that's what it was about. Logan saying, my man, we need you to come.
Right. Come parent.
You got to come do this. I don't know that, but I'm sure it was about many more things, but I got to think that came up. Don't you?
Probably.
I got to think that came up, like how to police the clubhouse. Because one thing Flem also said this morning that I think is important is you hear Logan Webb top big changes, and everybody immediately goes, oh, he's pointing
upstairs.
He's pointing at the front office. Yeah. He's pointing at Gabe Kapler. And Dave was very, very careful to point out, oh, no, he was pointing at a lot more than that. He was definitely pointing at some teammates. And so...
Yeah, that's actually the way I took it. Not that he was excluding Kapler and Farhan.
Not at all.
But I think he was like, we need big changes around this lot, like clubhouse, like 8 guys we got to get off of, and get 8 killers in here, 8 competitors in here,
8 professionals.
Exactly.
And, I was thinking about what you said earlier about like the Warriors and a locker room culture, and I think about your time, Steiny, playing college basketball, and the coach can only do so much. Steve Kerr's not in there every second in the locker room, and Kapler's not in there all the time. You need to have leaders on your team who police themselves, and it doesn't feel like this team has that. Mark and I were going through the roster, and you look at who would you possibly look to as that veteran leader, and you mentioned Brandon Crawford earlier. He's just not cut that way. Yeah. DJ BC Raw is not the kind of guy to go in there and flip a spread. He's just a nice, he's just a nice guy.
He's been great.
I do too, but he's not that kind of a leader,
Yeah. Well, I don't think Kapler's that way either. Like, I actually think Kapler's the kind of guy who's so, he thinks about his image so much that he would bust his hump to never flip a spread because he doesn't want to be that guy that resorts to that kind of thing.
I flipped the spread and I composted all the food.
So hire a spread flipper.
Not mathematically prudent. So
many infinite outcomes when you flip a spread.
Totally.
Macaroni salad might spill and it might not.
A waste of foodstuffs that could feed other people.
I think a team needs more than one leader. I think every outfit needs more than one leader. And the manager probably needs to be one of them. But it also needs somebody to run the clubhouse. And whether that's Logan Webb, like this is actually something I'd really love to ask Logan. Can you be the team's everyday voice when you're not an everyday player?
Man.
Because he is exactly everything he needs to be. Like, I could not be a bigger fan of Logan, the player, the leader, the person, but he clearly needs help. He needs help. And I don't know if he can Buster Posey or Buster Pusoy the clubhouse.
Or Buster only.
I don't know if he can do any of those roles because he plays once every 5 days. He needs more people around him, more leaders, more contracts, more people who care about the Giants.
I'll say this, because there's 6 of us, Shasky and Bonte. When they were 13 over 500, I told Bonte, I said, you owe him an apology. I told you guys in the tape right here, there's magic working. But for the guys like Bonte that were out early, this is the win for him, right? This season, the way this is happening.
Yeah, we gave Bonte his flowers yesterday.
All right.
God,
Mark gave him a big, smelly
bouquet.
Know?
But there's a bunch of fans that feel like that.
Mark doesn't like to do victory lap radio.
Out on the tote board.
Lap.
I did, but Mark poo-pooed it.
No, I didn't. He's right, and I was wrong. But
I thought he was wrong. No, we all did.
But that's fine. I don't know why we got to tote board this stuff at the end of every season. And I said this on the air about like Bonte did a victory lap on social. He did. I don't want an apology, but I'm here to say I told you so. And I'm like, okay. If you want flowers, if you want a victory lap, well, then we got to go through everything else.
Yeah.
And actually,
But where does everything else stop? Because this season is
hopefully it stops at the end of the year because Steiny's doing his Matt Cain perfect game this year, apparently.
I mean, from
the year of the Stein.
I thought you
a no-hitter.
confused.
I don't
No,
know.
I'm making fun of it, but
And Guru made an error, too.
No, stop.
You thought they were making the
But
playoffs.
Willard,
You thought they were making the playoffs.
The fans, he got it right.
Great. And he got Jordan Poole and Trey Lance wrong.
Man.
So, like, are we doing this? If you want a victory lap, then be there and show up when you messed up. And I'll give the two of them credit because they've made fun of themselves about their Trey Lance video.
And I was in there with it. Yeah, no doubt.
So that's
I was
great.
on the Trey Lance
That's
thing.
all I'm
All right.
saying. Was I all kinds of wrong about the Giants this year? Yes.
But you're
Absolutely.
not by yourself.
And I don't need flowers for Trey Lance and Jordan Poole because as I said to Dibs every day, we talk for 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
We're wrong every day, and we're right every day. Dibs talks for 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
I talk for 4 hours a day.
We broke that down yesterday.
Okay?
I gave myself an hour and
Dibs
12.
Dibs is only right 2 days a week, and he's wrong 3 days a week.
I'm silent 3 days a week.
I'm right and wrong 5 days a week. Damn it.
Damn it.
Yeah, this is bad. I can't wait to see what happens.
It's terrible.
That's why I told Steiny real quick here, if you start over, if all Steiny's selling me on is we got a plethora of young guys to look forward to, no, then we can start over because whoever you start with, Epstein, you're going to inherit that.
Well, but yeah, you're going to get rid of
we
it
had
then.
Chris Rose on. He said he came out of nowhere, unprovoked. They've been in the room with the Stantons, and you can't close. That's a part of the job too. It's not just the farm. So maybe they need a new voice in there.
They need to make a trade. Stop trying to sign people and make a trade. Don't give the person a choice. Just give them a jersey.
It's like what the Kings did with Chris Webber.
Yeah, you're here
I'll
now.
never forget. And how'd that work out?
They'd have no soul food in Sacramento. But he was there for 10 years after they got him.
Hi, Juan Soto. My name's Farhan. Right field's right over there.
And don't laugh.
We will
Mike
see
Trout,
you.
how you doing?
We'll see you in April.
So how far are we from your dream lineup for the that
Pretty
thing?
far.
Okay.
Pretty far. I know everyone's going to want to talk players or whether people are getting hired or fired or whatever. For me, it's almost more sort of abstract than that. The Giants literally feel like the opposite of their name. They feel small. When they come back in April, they need to feel big. The Dodgers feel big.
Niners and
The
Warriors
Braves
in
feel
your own
big.
backyard.
Niners, and even the Padres, who stink, still feel big.
Dude, the Oakland Roots, they sell out every game at Laney College. They feel bigger
Have you
than the
been to
Giants.
one?
Yeah,
I gotta
man,
get to
I've been
one.
food trucks and action.
Really?
You had me at food truck.
Action, bro.
Yeah, I
Action
gotta
at the
check
Roots
it out.
games. But they feel big. They feel bigger than the Giants.
All right.
WNBA, we'll get to that tomorrow.
Yeah,
We need a
liquidate all
nickname.
assets.
Yeah.
The podcast is out. Guru and I gave out our liquidate locks, and I got a baseball pick for tonight that I'm in love with.
Oh.
So make sure you get to the pod, Spotify, iTunes, the Odyssey app. Liquidate all assets. Guru was amazing this morning. The sunglasses were back.
Yeah, I was going to say, he put
That's
them on.
gonna do it for me.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, Steiny's leaving.
Sunglasses.
Yeah, that's it.
It's
Be with me, Dibs. on
easy
this.
prime. Come on.
You have a great show. You know I love him.